for to have that type of attitude in our community. And we wanted to foster that mutual respect. And so that is yet another role teachers play: language planning, language attitude, as well as allocution. And so there are a lot of things to do before you actually teach the students.
How many hearing students are involved in that program? Do you currently have any hearing students?
Really, at that school, there are no hearing students. However, at the Clare School in Tucson, and this was, oh gosh, maybe 15 years ago or so, Dr. Sam Supala and his team founded that school, and it was for deaf and hearing children. And my son attended that school for 2 years, and it was an excellent model. I visited it, and the instruction was solely in American Sign Language. And at the end of the year, I couldn't tell which student was deaf and which was hearing. They were all on equal footing in terms of their signing. Now, one challenge is that some kids would lapse into speaking, and there would be a teacher's assistant who would take the child over and remind the child of the rules, and then that child would know to sign. So it was a signing environment. Even at recess time, those kids would sign. And there were some hearing kids at the school. They were mostly siblings of other deaf children, or they had deaf parents. Also, there were some parents who were really into languages and wanted a language academy of some sorts and wanted their children to be exposed to different languages and were just fascinated with this concept. They would send their children to this program as well. That school unfortunately closed because the research grant stipulated that the student population was supposed to be 50% deaf and 50% hearing. Now, mind you, that school was in Tucson, which is a relatively small town, and there was the deaf school nearby as well. So the number of deaf children attending the center in Tucson was small. Perhaps that center can be reopened, perhaps in another city where there's a critical mass of deaf students.
In your opinion, what would be the ideal bilingual educational program for deaf children?
The ideal situation would entail having signing in the school. We would have ASL in English and accept hearing students, but those hearing students would have to be able to sign, because we don't want to lose focus, rather keep the focus on the academic content.